Hey, what's up with Sean Baligian?
What up? This is John Bell here on the Baligian and Bell show.
Make sure you check us out on the Woodward Sports Network. Hey, what is up? It is Monday morning here at Woodward Sports. He's Joik Bell. I'm Sean Baligian. It's not just any Monday, Joik. What Monday is it?
Motivational Mondays.
Motivational Monday. We need it. We need it.
And I was very motivated this past weekend when I went down to Chad's house.
You went down there?
I went down there.
I did not know that.
I just got the flight just now.
What went down? What was going on at Chad's house this weekend?
And so we went down there to take care of some business, and it was good. So I linked up with him and the fellas. You know, Bill came out. Neville came out. Nevin Lawson came out. A few other guys came out. And we kicked it, linked up with Stephen Tulloch. It was a good time. Went down there, kicked it with them for a minute, and I was motivated.
Maybe Art, one day we'll get invited to Chad's place.
No.
No? Art's never going to happen?
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
You want
to come down there one time?
You will not. I can't even afford a plane ticket, Joik. You owe me $100. Maybe I could put the $100 towards a plane ticket.
You could.
Somebody already said that. You know what? It's funny. Rich said, did Art get his hundo in his Cash App?
I mean, I could play the clip of Joik saying that we got a bet, and then I gave him my Cash App, and I'm still waiting.
Oh, because I was going to give you cash. I don't like to leave a paper trail.
All right, where's that clip? You actually have a clip?
Yeah, he has a clip. He put it on his Instagram.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I'll never join an Instagram.
It's
never going to happen.
It's a 54-second
Art, who do you like in the MMA tomorrow? Art's having a big MMA party tomorrow. Who do you like?
Man, I hate doing predictions. I gave.
Don't do it. Don't do it. You don't have to do it.
We've been DMing. Predictions. I will just say that I'm excited for the rematch. I think it's going to be a great fight. Lots of sleeper fights on the card. So, yeah. But I'm not going to give my prediction. I'll do that maybe fight night.
Why won't you give it?
Because I feel like my job is to keep it neutral right now. And I as much as I like Dustin Poirier and think that he has a good shot of winning, I also see the energy that comes with the Conor McGregor card. So it's very hard for me to pick until
You don't think I got Conor.
You got Conor?
Yeah.
I'll put $100 that says Dustin Poirier wins against you. I'll bet you, though. Just you.
Okay.
I regret saying that. Why did I do that?
Scott said Packers 19-13, Buffalo 30. We got it all figured out during the break, right?
Right.
So Joik owes Art $100, but really, they're even.
Don't do this.
No, because
be honest.
The chiropractor took care of business.
I don't
You
like
wanted
that.
to even schedule another appointment, too.
Yeah, you want to schedule another appointment. That'll be another $100.
I literally told you during the video, hey, I need to schedule a Wednesday with you.
Yeah. So
that was the weasel. That was the weasel.
The thing is, I'll bear hug him and crack his back, so he thinks I'm doing him a favor. I'm really just letting him release some frustration.
Larry said, wow, Bell don't pay up. He's going to pay. Yes, he will. He's going to pay. Come on.
Larry, relax. Relax.
Come on now.
You ever seen Game of Thrones? A Lannister always pays his debt. A Bell always pays his debt.
A Bell always pays his debt. We need some motivation. After this past weekend, in a myriad of ways. I just want to say this.
This is funny. Trisha said that he talked about his amazing back crack the entire weekend.
Is that my wife?
Is that Trisha?
Yeah, last name Veter Smith?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, get out of the comments. Get out
of the comments.
I told her one
time. Your wife loves me. She loves me.
She's like, I support the show, and then she's in the comments. I did talk about it. I said, listen, I don't need to go to the chiropractor. I'll just see Joik once a week. And she's like, wait, he hugged you like manly? Like I was like, yeah, I was a little uncomfortable, but he got the job done. She's like, wow, I never knew my wife would do me like this.
Hey, you know what though?
Hi, Mrs.
I
Art.
can respect your wife, man, because she respects, quality work. It's quality. She respects quality work. is more, she respects you, right? Because she's not getting it at home. So
you know what? That's true. Let's get Mike Broadwell in here to maybe make a sale or something. Hi, I'm Sean Baligian. Do you respect quality work? Well, then you need to see one man if you're having back issues. Joik Bell. Yeah. Joik Bell has been doing quality work for 25 years. That's experience you can't find anywhere else.
That's the voice. That's the voice of your spot.
I'm Joik Bell, and I improve this man.
Broadwell, get in here. Start. He needs to make that sale.
Start making some calls.
Make
Broadwell.
that sale.
You got to do the hand. You got to do the political hand. Yeah. I'm Joik Bell, and I approve this message.
Let me get your nameplate up. There we go. Now it looks official. You got a nameplate up.
Can we get this in the background of us as well?
Yeah.
Quality counts. And that's why I see Joik Bell. you just see bodies laying all over the office. Joik's crushing people. Oh, is that good? Bummer over the weekend. We'll get into the NFL action.
50-50.
NFC, AFC. We're gonna get into all that. The bummer over the weekend, and if you've been listening to the show, I think it's safe to say both Joik and I felt that the tea leaves were reading this ending the way that it did, but the Lions and Matthew Stafford feel it's in the best interest of both parties moving forward to move in a different direction. And honestly, and I'm going to tell you again, my vantage point with Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford 7-8 years ago used to tick me off. I thought he made too many mistakes at inopportune times. And you know what? I said be better, right? Matthew Stafford was better.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing my job. I'm not doing my job if I don't correct myself and say, you know what? I wanted to see the mistakes go down, and they did. And I'm a big fan of Matthew as a player. I'm a big fan of Matthew as a person. And it bothers me, Joik. Honestly, it bothers me that this franchise couldn't have done better by him. It does. It bothers me. And I can't imagine what it feels like for you, being in the huddle with that guy, being in the trenches with that guy, being in the room with that guy. I can't even imagine what's going through your mind right now.
Great. I think I might, when I think about it, I think I played with Matthew Stafford longer than any other running back. I got in, give or take 6 years with him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it was a good run. It seeing his work ethic and how he worked and his toughness and what he meant to the organization. It was, it's sad to see him leave. And we as an organization, we used to having these great players, and nothing comes from it. Except for personal gains and things of that nature. As far as his numbers are magnificent. You look at Calvin Johnson numbers, one of the greatest of all time. You have Barry Sanders, probably one of the greatest of all time. And we had one playoff win with all these great players. And is that the organization fault? Is it the GM, the president? Is the people that we're bringing in? It's tough to see, and it's sad. It's very unfortunate. But I love Stafford, man. He meant a lot to the team. He made my job a lot easier. None but respect for him.
Well said. Well, I want to ask you some questions about him in particular, but, a couple comments on here that I wanted to get to. Richard said, get the best deal out there. Don't settle for something to just unload him. Absolutely. This is where business takes over. Matthew, you know what? We know it'd be in our best interest to move on. In your interest, we're not getting a great deal right now. You can't just make a deal to make a deal, man. You have to think business.
Yeah, to think business. So I if you can pull up my Twitter real quick, I made a comment on it, and basically I said, hopefully the Lions can make a trade with Matthew Stafford to a team where it's a win-win for both parties. They both deserve it.
Couldn't agree more.
They both deserve it.
Absolutely. Best of luck.
Best of luck.
Seriously.
I would love to see him go to a team where he can win now, right?
Kelly Stafford, there's her full comment. I'm not going to read it all myself because I just wasted my voice on reading a spot for our new client, Joik Bell Chiropractor. But if you want me to, I will. Thank you. This place, our home, the people. It's hard to find the words to explain what this place means to me. Random tears come very often when I think about not being here. This place supported me during the toughest time of my life and during the happiest times, and I want to thank you all in the right way. Whenever I figure out what the future holds, you'll be hearing from me again with a thank you that hopefully shows how much gratitude and love I have for this place. But until then, we are going to enjoy our time left in Michigan to the fullest because there really is no other place like it. Hashtag Detroit versus everybody. Hashtag Stafford strong. So I like what
Detroit
Kenny said. It's
everybody.
always darkest before the sunrise.
Yeah. And you know, and I think it's going to work out for Matthew. I just want him to go somewhere where he can blossom and he can win. I think at the end of the day, once you get to a certain point in your career, once you get to a certain point in life, it's not even about the money. Like, the money's going to be there, but what mark will you leave when you're done with this game? And you don't want to be known as a person who couldn't get it done. So for him, it's more so about winning and getting it done and bringing the championship to a city, rather than, you know, sitting back and collecting the check.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
Seriously. I mean, I'd cry.
Yeah.
I would. I'd literally cry and go, oh, why not us?
And that's one thing about Matthew, man. He's never been big into, like, the media. He's never been big into speaking. He's always, you know, I say this a lot, but he's just always been about that action. Like, it's not too much you want to say. It's not too much you want to do. It's just, like, are we going to get it done or not? Like, it's, like, and if you look, he has no social media. He very rarely speaks with the media. He just, I mean, he's not mean to the media.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
But he just rather just kind of, you know, stay to himself and bring a championship to this city. And he loves playing. And I just wish we could have gave him his roses while he was here.
Well said.
Yeah. So,
Joik, you know what I would say, and I don't have a problem with this. I know some people in the media do. I don't have a problem with this. Matthew Stafford has been guarded, and Matthew Stafford wants to say the right thing. And for people to complain at that, I don't get it. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with he wants to do and say the right thing? It's never wrong to do the right thing.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. I'm never going to go, Joik, that was a bad play. If it's the right thing to do, it's the right thing. And I think that's the way that I've always looked at Matthew Stafford. He's always wanted to be above the fray. He's always wanted to do and say the right thing. I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect that. Kenny, to your point, I want to go back to that. It's always darkest. See, it was funny because this goes back to our conversation on Friday. I can't rewrite what happened. This franchise has been woeful, okay? And I'm going to stick to my guns 1,000%. Sorry, 9-7 and losing in the first round of the playoffs is never going to be good enough for me, okay? If I was a hater, if I was a negative Nelly, you know what I would say? I would say those words that too many people around here say. This franchise sucks and always is going to suck. I refuse to believe that. I won't believe it. I do not. Joik, my brain doesn't work that way. My brain, and we'll get into some of the moves the Lions have made, because you know what Sheila Ford Hemp has shown me? She's serious. She's serious about changing that narrative about the Lions, and we'll get into some of those moves. Yeah. But Joik, I'm telling you right now, point blank, bro, I do not believe this franchise is always going to stink. I can't think that way.
Yeah, you know what though? We've been talking about it for so long. We're making some changes now. I'm liking some of the changes. And I'm going to sit back and, at this point, is honestly sit back and wait.
Yeah.
It's like putting your money in stocks. Just sit back and wait.
That's all you can do.
Just sit back and wait.
I'm not writing any checks. You know what? I do appreciate that they're trying things differently.
Yeah.
And I like a lot of the moves that they made, and we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it.
We'll definitely talk about it.
So speaking of moves, real quick, let's dive into this. Do you think this move on from Stafford is good for the franchise?
Yes.
You think it's good for Stafford?
Yes.
I think so too.
Yep.
I think so too. Now, there's 8 potential suitors out there.
Yeah.
All right, so we have what? We have the 49ers, the Saints, the Washington football team, the Pats, Steelers, Dolphins, Rams. Who do you want to see them go to?
Do you want me to speak with my heart, or do you want me to speak with my head?
Did I say the Colts? The Colts is on there too.
I think you could put the Colts on there.
Yeah.
I would not want to see him. I think New England's a disaster. I really do. I think New England's a disaster.
I don't think it's as a disaster because they had. I could be wrong about 60-some guys who opted out this year.
Yeah. I just don't think. I mean, if you look at them, what was the biggest complaint that Tom Brady had last year in Tampa? It was the lack of weapons, right? Mm-hmm. I don't think that they have an adequate amount of weapons, at least offensively. I just don't. There's Julian Edelman, and you know what I mean? And Julian Edelman's long in the tooth. So in that regard, I wouldn't want to see Stafford go to a spot where maybe he's, dealing with the same kind of things that frustrated Tom Brady, and quite frankly, dealing with some of the things that have frustrated him. I mean, when Calvin was out, I mean, who do you have to go to? You had you guys in the backfield. That was okay.
Yeah, we had a couple weapons. We had GT.
Yeah, you know what it was? It was for me. Before Golden got here, it was Calvin and a bunch of guys. Remember? I mean, it really was. It was Calvin and a bunch of guys.
You know what? The guy that was that guy on the other side couldn't stay healthy and couldn't stay out of trouble.
Yeah.
And Titus Young.
Yeah.
He was that guy on the other side.
Yeah.
Just couldn't stay healthy, couldn't stay out of trouble. So we had weapons, guys that's your term. Weapons.
Yeah.
Guys who just couldn't be out there, like who had the talent but just wasn't out there on the field. So I like, if I had to choose for a place for him to go, a place where he can go there, I feel like they're just missing a few pieces. I told you before, I like Washington for him. They had the number 3 defense. Or I would say the Colts, they had the number 1 defense. They just needed that quarterback piece for the Colts. The Colts might be a little bit farther ahead and winning the Super Bowl than Washington, but I like Washington for them as well because they just need that one consistent quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would be interested to see him with the Rams as well. I think that would be fun with some of the pieces that they have.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this: it won't be a bad look to have him go down to the Saints. That'd be it. Now that'll be something. That'll be trouble.
You would have to get really creative because I think you know this about your old franchise. They're one of those teams in salary cap hell right now. Mm-hmm. Like they've got some issues with. Now,
but when
that doesn't mean it can't be done. Let's get that out of the way.
Yeah.
It can be done. I mean, how Jerry Jones has been able to live on credit for the last 10 years is unbelievable. But the counter argument to that is, what has Jerry Jones won? It can be done. You just have to get very creative. You'd have to find one of those capologists to figure that crap out. You know what I mean?
You do.
Hold on.
It's a lot of stuff that I don't even. Are you holding on for Art?
No, I'm Joyke's going to give you the permission to speak.
He told you to hold up.
Go ahead. I apologize.
It's a lot of stuff about the salary cap that I didn't know about. That
I'm so sorry.
that I didn't know about, that I had to learn, that I learned after I finished playing. And nothing about my contract per se, but just about how, like, when they have like this is a salary cap and somebody worth they might be getting paid $16 million, but their hit against the salary cap might be a little bit higher. I'm like, how does that work?
Yeah.
How does that work? And I never understood that.
Sport Track does a very, I know I've mentioned that before, but if you're interested in that stuff, Sport Track does a very good job. All you have to do is go to sporttrack.com and you can type in a name like Joyke Bell. And it's amazing how they have the breakdowns of the contracts in there. It's fascinating. And what your hit is should you leave. And if you leave before June 1st, this is the hit.
Yeah.
If you're traded after June 1st, it's
I'll tell you a story. And this is how kind of, I ain't gonna say cutthroat the NFL is, but this is kind of how the business works, right? So I remember 2016, when I leave the Lions, I part ways with the Lions. I was the first big move. The next big move was Stephen Tulloch. So this is in January. This is like February. And so at the end of February, I get a call from Stephen Tulloch. And he calls me. He said, Joyke, he said, they let me go when they let you go, right? I said, yeah, I know. He said, well, I'm still on the roster. I said, you're still on the roster? How are you still on the roster? They let you go. Now this is he said, I got hurt. I didn't pass my exit physical, so they couldn't cut me. I said, oh, what does that mean? He said, I'm in Fort Lauderdale right now. The team is making me fly back in now. My agent called me, said they want me to fly back in. He flies back, he hops on the jet, they fly him back to Detroit. He hops off the plane. He goes to meet with Bob Quinn. They say, listen, sign this waiver. We're gonna let you go. You can go play for any team you want to play for. And Tully said, why would I sign this? I can't pass my physical to get on any other team. I'm not signing that. Thank you, but no thank you. I'm gonna stay here. They knew they had to cut him before the next day, or they had to pay him $500,000.
You got it.
He got on the flight to head back to Fort Lauderdale. Before he landed, he had $500,000 in his bank account.
Business, baby.
Business. Right.
Scott brought up an interesting one. How about Denver?
No.
Can you imagine Denver and the weapons that they have, and how sold are they on their young starting quarterback? Is that a potential? I think the kid's good. He's not Matthew Stafford good. You know what I mean?
No, I don't think that's a good look. I think the best teams for him to go to Saints, Colts, or Washington. I think those are the best teams. Now it just depends on what those teams can get. I am so stuck in the middle because Art looks at me and waves his hand.
I just had a quick question for you guys, a softball one, if I may.
No, it's okay. We'll get to you.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, so really quickly, I think Art has a question, so I'm gonna point at him now. What's the question, Art?
How devastated or happy would Lions fans be if Stafford goes to like the Saints, who were just in the playoffs, and Stafford makes it to the playoffs with a new team? Like, what would your thoughts be as a dedicated Lions fan to see that happen? And it didn't happen with the Lions, but he goes to a new team and right away he's in the plaplayoffs. Like, I feel like that would be such a...
Then you know it was a system.
Kick in the groin.
You'll know it was a system.
Kick in the groin.
But we're not going to the playoffs next year.
Anytime soon.
Yeah, we're not.
No,
going.
I'm saying if Stafford was to go to the Saints and then he goes to the playoffs, that's what I mean.
People will start to appreciate him more, and they'll see what he really brings to the table.
Yeah,
and I think that'd be a good fit for him. So,
it'd be a kick in the groin. I'd be happy for him, but it'd be a kick in the groin. I mean, I no other way to say it. I mean,
yeah.
It would be. It just
and then it's like does Stafford want to go to a team like that and play behind a Hall of Famer and play in the shadows of a Hall of Famer, or does he want to go to Washington when they haven't had any success in a while, and bring them to glory?
Could you imagine that? Now think about that. You're a once proud franchise, and back in the day they were under Joe Gibbs. They were one of the shining stars in the National Football League, right. And they've lived 20 plus years of disaster under Daniel Snyder. There's no other way to say it. Can you imagine being the guy that brings the Washington football team back to glory?
Yeah,
they might build a statue of him next to John Riggins or Joe Theismann.
And that's what you go for, right?
Yeah.
That's what you go for. You want to go somewhere where you can feel appreciated, because he might spend another. I mean, Stafford has about 2 more contracts in him. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. We're going to take a quick break. I want to ask Joik about some of his interactions with Matthew Stafford on the field, because here's a unique thing that we can bring you today that other people can't. He's played with him. He's been in the huddle with him. He's been in the room with him. Yeah. So I'm going to pick Joik Bell's brain on that when we come back. Obviously, AFC Championship, NFC Championship. I'm devastated that the GOAT won't be in the Super Bowl. Brady and Mahomes will be pretty good, but the GOAT, Josh Allen, won't be there.
Here you go. You know what's funny? You know what Nate called this game? The GOAT versus the kid.
Yeah.
You know what they call a baby GOAT? The kid.
The kid. Yeah.
And so I was like, that's pretty dope. Like, that's I said, okay, I like, Nate was on to something. And I actually commented on that because, like I said, him transitioning to the media, he's top of the list.
Yeah, he's done it seamlessly. He really has. Yeah. But the GOAT isn't there. Josh Allen will be at home.
I do like the animal fun facts with Joik, though. That was nice.
Oh, boy.
I wasn't being a smartass. I was being serious.
Hey, we have kids watching this show.
Oh,
watch your mom.
Yeah, my wife is watching.
He's Joik Bell. He's Art. I'm Sean. Be back in a minute.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10 and a half months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
Hire a graduate
Of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
What is going on?
What's going on? We got breaking news
Corey
here.
with a K. Come on in. Corey with a K. Follow him on Twitter. Corey with a K. E. Woods. Corey with a K, how are you, my friend?
Doing pretty
You heard it here first.
Breaking news, the Detroit Lions have hired Deuce Staley as he's going to join Dan Campbell's staff and is going to be the running back coach.
That's crazy. For people who don't know, Deuce Staley came from the Eagles. Did he ask to get out of his contract, Corey?
Yes.
Asked to get out?
With all the turnover they have going on, he asked to get out of his contract, so yes.
So they let him out of his contract. For people who don't know, I played in Philly. He was actually the assistant running back coach when I was there. We had Coach Williams was the head running back coach when I was there. And he was a good coach, tough.
Pretty good player back in the day, too.
Oh, he was, yeah.
The deuce is loose.
Yeah.
I love what the Lions are doing right now. I'm not
very diverse.
I'm no lie. I love what the Lions are. Not like. I'm serious. I love what the Lions. Bringing in John Dorsey as well, a guy that helped build 2 teams. It's another voice to come in and help them get it right. Now, I'm not writing any checks. I'm not saying in 2 years we're going to be just like Atlanta was, or forget Atlanta, Miami was, or the Cards are. I'm not saying anything like that. But I'll tell you what, this goes back to what we were talking about earlier, Joik. She is saying we are not going to settle for the way we've done business before.
Right.
On paper, I love what the Lions have done.
I'm going to tell you.
The game isn't played on paper, but I love what the Lions have done.
I'm going to give you a funny story about Deuce. It was my rookie year. And I had just got them from the Buffalo Bills. Mm-hmm. And so I was getting adjusted to being there. And one morning I woke up and, I was just tired. So I was just getting ready, trying to get to the facility so I can not have to rush, eat breakfast. So I rushed out the house, left, got there. I'm sitting down in the cafeteria, I'm eating. And somebody walks up to me. Joik, you see that shirt he has on?
Yeah.
I had on like a team, I had on a team shirt. And a guy walks up and said, Joik, you know you got on a Buffalo Bill shirt? And I looked down. I said, oh, snaps. I took it off and ran to go put on my shirt. And, they chirped like, I don't know. It got back to Deuce. And Deuce was like, Joik, did you have on a Buffalo Bill shirt in here today? I said, yep, rushed out the crib, had it on. He said, these guys paying you a lot of money. You might not want to do that anymore. Shit wasn't on purpose. There's only been one person I've seen do that successfully, and will go out there and practice with other teams. Like, he'll go out there to practice with other teams' logos on. Like, we had just got him. I was in New Orleans. We got big baby Shawn Rodgers from, I think he was with the Cleveland Browns. So he came we got him out to Cleveland. And he walked out to the practice, and he had these Cleveland Browns sweatpants on and had them cut off. And he said, hey, until they give me some more pants like this, I'm wearing these until they provide me with what I need. He said, I'm not switching over. I've been wearing these for years. Like, they're either going to give me these type of pants or this is what I'm wearing. And nobody said anything to him.
And we remember Big Baby.
I think for him, that was like year 11 or 12.
Yeah.
So he was in the game.
After quite a few here, as you remember. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was funny. We had the D coordinator. This is when Sean Payton, I think he broke his leg on the sideline. I think when Jimmy Graham ran into him on the sideline, broke his leg. He became the head coach at the time. And so what this DC would used to do, he would always go after one person in practice. And he'll tell the defense like who he's about to go after in practice. And this one day, he told the defense he was going to go after Shawn Rodgers. So he gets that Sean, you fat. You're terrible. Get off my field. You're not giving me any effort. Get out of here. Get off the field. And Sean gets up. He looks at him, takes his helmet off, and walks very slowly off the field while he's looking at him. Taking his time, like, I'm going to get off the field, but I'm going to take my time getting off this field.
That doesn't surprise me.
It doesn't surprise me. I love it. I love Big Baby, man.
No, it doesn't surprise me. Now, you know what? And it's funny, Art, you brought this up on the thing. Some say the Lions are crafting the Avengers of the NFL staff. You had to do something. The way you've been operating has not worked. It has not worked in your personnel development. It has not worked in your drafting department. It has not worked in your free agency. You had to do something. Why not bring in voices? Why not bring in voices that have dealt with the draft, that have dealt with players, that have head coaching experience? Why not do those things? And bringing in, on top of that, we don't have his picture up there.
All players.
But bringing in a guy like John Dorsey who helped build 2 franchises. What the hell's wrong with that? I love it. This is a fantastic thing now.
This is a very diverse coaching staff.
Guys that have been there and done it, too.
Been there and done it. And also, the league is 70% African American. You're bringing in people that they can relate to, and I think this would be big for people, players, young players like Okudah. This is important for them, guys that they can go to and talk to about stuff that's going on off the field. How did you deal with it? How were you successful? How did you fight through it? How did you manage it? And these are the type of people. I think once we hired our new DC, he was excited. Mm-hmm. I think he went on Twitter and actually mentioned it about how excited he was that they were coming in, and it's just, I think this is going to be different. I'm gonna put my money in the stock market. I'm gonna sit back and wait.
No, and I think, you know what? I think that's the best way to say it, Joy, because this really is, a situation where I like what they're doing. I'm not going to write any checks or anything like that, but I'm sorry. I'm going to say this again. I wish more people around here would be more realistic about what the Lions have been.
Yeah.
Their franchise hasn't been good enough. And I'm not trying to rip open a scab. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do backflips over 9-7 and golly gee, losing a playoff game. Aim higher is what I've always said. And because of that, Joy, I'm going to say it, I will refuse to believe that this is what the franchise is always going to be. If you bring in the right people, you watch things change. You've been a part of it, certainly at the collegiate level at Wayne State. I always bring up the Golden State Warriors. You can say the Detroit Red Wings for guys like me, that when I was younger, they stunk. They were the dead things, all of that stuff. Bring in right people, things can change. And I think they're on their way. Mason brought up West Bloomfield's coach just hooked on with Michigan. Don't forget, Ronald Bellamy is a pretty darn good player back in the day at Michigan as well. Props to him. They won a state championship on Saturday, and now he is going to be headed to the University of Michigan as well. So wanted to get that out there. But you know what, Joy? This is exciting to me that you're bringing in guys of diversity that have had diverse roles in the National Football League and have been part of some success, or at least had a taste of what it's like to be a head coach, of what it's like to do some drafting, of what it's like to actually do regular scouting. Because the biggest thing that has hurt this franchise forever and a day, go back and look at their drafts, man. Take the gun out of your holster, hold your foot out, and put a gosh damn bullet in it more often than not. Now, I give Martin Mayhew credit, and you and I talked about this. Yeah. The 2013 draft was a 3-run homer, man. It really was. Those drafts are few and far between. We have to draft better. Hopefully this will be the brain trust that does it.
This is going to be the thing, right? Is making sure they're all on the same page, right?
Sure.
They all have to be on the same page. It can be no egos. You have to be able to take you're going to have to be able to take feedback from a coaching staff like this, because there's going to be a lot of opinions, You got to know when to have to pick and fight your battles. But at the end of the day, we're all on the same team here. And that's going to be the main part going into the next couple of seasons. I see Max. She asked, will this coaching staff have more than 2 to 3 years to get the job done?
Yes.
Yes.
1,000%.
The coach signed a 6-year deal, and so we'll see what happens. The gym signed a 5-year deal, and we'll see what happens.
You know what? If I'm the first person to tell you this, I'll wear the hat of being the bad guy, but I think anybody with half a brain in their head knows this, especially with the news about Matthew Stafford. Guys, the next 2 years aren't going to be pretty. I have no other way to say that. They're not going to be pretty. And you know what? It's not a bad thing. It really isn't. If you do this right, you know what, Joik, maybe you can be in the position. A lot of people thought that the Dolphins were going to suck for years, okay? And look how close they came to getting into the playoffs. And they're on the way up. You know what I mean? They're on the way up. This isn't stagnant. You would expect more, and you should demand more. And the same thing with the Cardinals. Remember, just a couple of years ago, the Cardinals were a mess. But you know what? They got that young quarterback. They made a couple of really shrewd deals. If we could find a Bill O'Brien to make a deal with, that would help things out a lot easier. And all of a sudden, look how close the Cards came to making the playoffs. And again, here's the difference. That isn't their high point. In the past, that's the Lions' high point, okay? That's not their high point. They're on the way up still. You know, we'll see if it eventually turns out and comes to fruition. But I that would be my hope that, you know what, after biting the bullet another year, maybe in a couple of years, Joik, maybe they can challenge for the playoffs again. And then we can say to ourselves, we got a young nucleus here, man. Yeah. The best is yet to come. The best is yet to come.
After this trade, the big thing is going to be the quarterback position. That's going to be the biggest thing.
Sure.
Initially was the defense.
Yep.
All right. But in order to be successful in the next 2 to 3 years, you're going to have to get a quarterback in.
Smart man.
Yeah.
Smart man. That's the name of the game now. It is. You got to get yourself a quarterback.
Yeah,
period.
That's what you need it. So, you know, it's not too many teams that have had a winning culture without that star quarterback. A lot of successful teams now, they have that quarterback that can help push you, like Aaron Rodgers, a Tom Brady, Drew Brees, a Patrick Mahomes. These type of guys, you need that type of quarterback consistently in order to have a winning franchise.
Here's a good question. Scott said at least the Lions. Let me go up to here, and then I want to get back to our boy Steve's question in a second. Scott said at least the Lions haven't had to give away a car each game to someone who was in attendance to get people to come to the game. That was the routine with the Red Wings in the 80s down at Joe Louis Arena. It really was. Steven brings up a great point. He said, Marvin will be long gone. You think Galladay resigns given the circumstances? He will need the money. Joik, I'll ask you, how much does a guy's earning potential take a hit when he has the injury problems that Kenny Galladay had last year? How much does he take a hit?
Anything the team can use against you to devalue you,
you got it.
They'll use it. No matter how good you are, no matter how great you are, if it could save them a buck and still have that same talent out there on the field, that's why we have franchise tags.
Yep. You know what I would do? Can I tell you? You know, if I was general manager, I say this all the time. You have to lie. You do. You have to lie. I'm going to die. If I'm an opposing general manager, you know what I would say if the Lions were looking to deal a guy like Kenny Galladay? Even if I love the guy, you know what I would do? I would go, Lions, what are you trying to give me damaged goods? And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to get him for as little as possible, right?
That's negotiation.
Yep. And same thing, Joik, to your point, and it's unfortunate, but this is the way it works. If I'm the Lions, I'm saying the same thing. Kenny, look, you were on the cusp of being a top 10 player last year, man. You really were. This hip thing's got us worried. If you can't understand, this is a business. You're going to take a hit. Even if you know 100% everything checked out and he's healthy, that's the role you got to take, man. You know, somebody's going to be the bad guy in that front office.
Yeah, they do.
You know, it's like the Tulloch story you told. I mean, It's business.
You see Bill Bentley. Definitely need a QB. Got to work on the defense.
100%.
Now, we need to work on that defense, but everyone knows that the nucleus of the team is going to be the quarterback. It starts there, and then we go into the trenches on that defensive line.
Yeah.
I think we start there. We get one more piece, at least one more piece on our offensive line. Maybe a guy with a lot of upside to him. A young guy with a lot of upside just needs to be around some veterans to kind of give him the ropes. Start from there, and then hit that linebacker spot and continue to grow out. Because you can have subpar DBs with the extra in D-line and can make them look like Pro Bowlers. So I think we start there. Get the quarterback, start with the D-line, add one or two more pieces on that offensive line, linebacker spot, and keep building out. So
it's amazing what happens. You know what? One of the stats you see all the time is how quarterbacks perform under pressure. Find me a quarterback that likes to be pressured.
Yeah.
And so to Joik's point, you're absolutely right. Guys in the defensive backfield, whether it be Bill Bentley, whether it be anybody else, guess what? You're going to look better if you're putting pressure on their quarterback.
Yeah, you can drop. I mean, when you're getting pressure on the quarterback with 4D linemen and you can drop 7 back into coverage, it's going to make it harder for that quarterback to find an open receiver. So it's very important.
Bill said you always can bring in a vet to lead a team, like a Ryan Fitzpatrick.
You see, you can bring so Ryan Fitzpatrick. I love him as a quarterback. I think he's a very good quarterback, but he's not going to lead your team to, a Super Bowl.
Isn't he a placeholder? To me, a guy like, and what I mean by that is, Ryan Fitzpatrick is holding the place of the next guy. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
he's just a placeholder.
Yeah, but I don't want to take anything away from him because he is a good quarterback. I just don't think he's that franchise quarterback that you bring in. And let's build our team around him. He's going to take us all the way. But
Corey with a K.
Hey, some more details came out about Deuce Staley. He's going to be the assistant head coach and running back coach.
Corey, I love what the Lions are doing so far off the field. Now, again, it has to translate on the field. I'm not writing any checks. I'm not saying book passage to the Super Bowl in even a couple years. I love what the Lions are doing.
It's really big what they're doing because Sheila Ford said that when they fired Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia that she was going to bring in people who were football savvy to make these decisions. Everybody that she's brought in is football savvy, from Brad Holmes to John Dorsey.
Love it.
Ray Agnew.
Love it.
I mean, the coordinators. You giving Anthony Lynn, he's a damn good coordinator. He's going to be a damn good coordinator.
Guy that's been a coach. He's been there, done that.
Aaron Glenn is done great with the Saints secondary, and now you're bringing in Deuce Staley, who is well respected by players, as Joy just alluded to. So they're really changing the entire culture basically overnight. Whether it translates to wins or not remains to be seen, but it's kind of hard to not be excited by you seeing how aggressive they're going.
Don't get too excited too early. We got to stay here.
Yeah,
we stay here.
Do you know what I like?
I love the changes. I love to see what they're doing, but I want to see what happens in August. And they have my full support. But even when I played, it was never here, never there. It was always here for me.
Do you know what it reminds me of? I'm going to use your boy Troy Weaver as an example. It's different. It's different.
Troy? Troy.
What Troy's doing is different, and that has me excited.
And that's
what the Lions are doing now.
We need different here.
Amen.
We need different.
Yep.
We can't continue to go doing the same thing over and over and over.
No way.
I love how they're shaking it up. I love how they're mixing it up. Let's see if that cup run is over.
Yep. Speaking of the Pistons, Demetrius said, take me back to the 18-19 season. Pistons went 41-41. Since then, they went 23-59. Is it possible that the Pistons are in the top 3? Yes. It depends how the ping pong balls fall, obviously, but yes. And I'm convinced they're doing it by design. I think when you look at everything that Troy Weaver has already done and his accumulation of picks last year, and what this team has this year, and I think the record speaks it, I think it's all by design. That he knew that trying to just be in that NBA purgatory wasn't getting you anywhere. And what I mean by NBA purgatory is you're not quite good enough to make the playoffs, but you're not quite bad enough to get into the lottery. And I'm convinced When I look at the moves that Troy Weaver's made, I'm convinced that Troy knew that, and it's by design. And in a couple of years, I think we're all going to be having a different conversation about what the Pistons look like. And I think that's where I draw the comparison, Joik. I think that's what this Lion franchise is finally doing. This window, I know you talked about your window around 13, 14, right? You have these small windows, and unfortunately for that group, that I agree with you, that window closed.
Yeah.
And who knows what might have happened, Des Bryant, picked up flag, all of that crap. And then there was another window that closed. And Bob Quinn thought, no, we can keep this window open. I'm just going to do a little nip and tuck here and bring in a different coach, and it went like that. It's time to rip it open, baby. It is. It's time to rip it open. Let's go.
Let's go.
Start over. And now we know. Now we can't. Now we're not going to have those arguments where people are going to be going, man, Joik, I don't know what you're talking about. I love this team. I think this is a 12-4 team. We all know what to expect, and to me, it's not a lot.
It's not a lot right now.
Not right now.
Not right now.
It. Yep.
Give it time.
Yep. Amen to that.
All good things with time.
Yep.
Anything's worth having is worth working for. So we're working, and I think we're making some strategic moves here.
Yeah.
I haven't seen this done. I have not seen this done in all my time here.
No, nor have I. And
I've never seen it.
To be honest with you, it's pretty exciting.
Has this been done in the NFL before?
Where you're loading up these many guys with experience?
I haven't seen it.
Because more often than not, what you're doing is you're seeing guys taking a chance on the young, hot name and stuff like that. So when you're adding former head coaches or guys that have a good reputation, their general manager is young, but at the same time, they have a guy looking over his shoulder that has a lot of success in John Dorsey. I don't know. It's pretty exciting. I'm trying to. I'm with you. I'm trying to come down.
And then we're bringing in the coaches, right? We're bringing in the coaches who's played at this level.
Yep.
Right. And now I want people to understand that just because you played in the NFL doesn't make you a great coach.
No.
But sometimes you have those ones who they're just as good at being a coach as, if not better, than what they were as a player. And so I'm excited to see what happened, but I'm not going to get, in a frenzy and we're going to do this, we're going to do that, because at the end of the day, this is a player's game and we have to get players in here.
Steve brings up a good point. Should the Lions sign a Jameis or someone who will potentially win a few games, or let Chase Daniel go 0-16? It's interesting? Do you remember what Drew Brees said to Jameis, and that the mics kind of caught it at the end of that game? This is your team now. Do the Saints have designs on making Jameis Winston their quarterback? I don't know. I don't know. It's just interesting. I couldn't help but think about that. Drew, and it was one of those moments where I don't think Drew meant for the cameras to catch that. But I don't know if you saw the video.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, Drew literally said to Jameis at the end of the game, "This is your team now." So does that mean that Drew knows something that maybe the rest of us don't know?
No, it could be. You're here now. They brought you here, and I'm out.
Yeah.
If you're going to be here, this is your team now.
Yeah.
That's probably what he meant by it.
But maybe the Saints management doesn't feel that way.
So he probably wasn't speaking for the organization as a whole.
And please don't say Taysom Hill. Stop. Don't say Taysom Hill, please.
And probably just saying that last look he gave to the to the dome as he was walking off.
Oh, he's done. Absolutely. Yeah,
it was done.
He's done.
You saw it in his eyes. He looked back. It would have been dope if he just could have just stopped, turned around, looked back, took it all in, and walked off slow, and just kind of, this is my last time walking off. I'm done. Those type of moments is great to see, right? And sad at the same time.
Absolutely.
It's great to see him being able to look at that and say, wow, this is my last one. I gave you guys all I had. Art, what's your question?
I have the clip that you requested, sir.
Yeah, let's play that clip.
Can I play it?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And this is a clip of New Orleans Saints quarterback Drew Brees giving a hug and passing the torch over to Jameis Winston.
Let me know when it's playing, Art.
It's playing right now. You guys don't have headphones on, but you can clearly see him mouth. I'm going to rewind it.
Yeah.
you could see him pointing and saying, "This is your team now." So here, I'll play it one right here. Yeah, you could definitely. He mouthed that.
Yeah. Bill said, Baligian, you don't like Jack of all trades Hill? Not as my starting quarterback. Absolutely not. I mean, no, okay, now this is where I'll defer to you guys. You guys that played the National Football League, okay?
Yeah.
To you, Bill, and to Joik. Is that a starter in the National Football League? Taysom Hill?
He reminds me of Josh Allen.
Don't you dare. How dare you? I'm so out of here.
Hey, Joik Bill here for the Bill and Bill Show.
I don't think that's a starter in the National Football League. Does he have a place in the National Football League? Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, he's got guy can play. Do I think hey man, we're going to war with Taysom Hill? No. I don't want that.
You don't think he can reinvent himself? Or you think he is who he is?
In the passing game in the National Football League, no. I don't. He's the master of the 2.5-yard run. I'm joking. That was kind of a jerk of me. I apologize.
The audio is playing in the background.
Yeah, Bill's giving me some laughter.
Yeah.
Bill's giving me.
You could see it right here, though.
How dare you? By the way, how dare you? Can I talk about how dare you compare him to the GOAT?
All right.
How dare you do that?
Is he the GOAT?
Oh, Josh Allen's the GOAT, man.
I don't even think.
Do you know why I like Josh Allen?
I don't even think he's the kid.
You know you know why I like Josh Allen, right?
Yeah.
He looks so just oafy.
Hey, God, we got to check in.
And somehow, some way, he makes plays. I don't get it.
Raise your hand, Art.
Sorry, we got to check in with Bills fans real quick. There they are. Yep, that's them right there. There they are. There's Josh Allen's cousin, Ricky Allen. That's a broken neck.
Jeez.
Oh my God.
Miller Lite in hand.
Have you broken your neck trying to jump on tables? Then maybe you need to see Joik Bell, chiropractor. Hi, Sean Baligian here for Joik Bell Chiropractic.
I approve this message.
This fan broke his neck jumping on a table.
Didn't like he just took a nap. Hold up, right?
The way his head bends, like right now, like you know what he kind of looks like.
This would be on Jacked Up.
You know what he kind of looks like.
Stop it.
What was it?
He looks like a certain MMA guy, doesn't he? Find a picture of them laying sideways, right?
Oh, Conor McGregor.
It's Conor McGregor. Look at Conor McGregor right at the end. He's got his mittens on like Bernie.
Yeah.
Look how happy he is when he's jumping too. Look, it's the greatest day of his life. Oh, that ended. All right, that's enough of that.
You know what?
Put his head on his
He
beard.
looks just like this guy though too.
Victor, he was drunk.
Sean, he looks just like him, doesn't he?
Victor, he was drunk. That's the only reason he didn't break his neck.
I couldn't put it on Aaron Rodgers, man. He played a great. I mean,
he's taking a nappy nap.
Well, we're gonna get into that in just a second. We're going to get into that in just a second as well. And Matt LaFleur, you coward. You absolute coward. Just horrible coward. Terrible coward. Cowardly.
Okay, let's move on. He's a
horrible coward.
He's a coward.
We're going to get into that. We're going to get into that in just a I got to ask you about Joik. We're up against a break. We're actually way late for I got to ask you, Joik, about Matthew Stafford.
Okay.
Just give me your take on what Matthew Stafford in the room, on the field, in the huddle was like. We'll do that next. Joik Bell, Sean Baligian. Hi. You know what's funny? Richard said Portnoy from Barstool called LaFleur a coward as well. I don't know if there's anything else you can call him. I don't think it's to be honest, I don't think it's breaking news or anything like that. I mean, it's just I'm going to ask the player what he thinks about a call like that. If I was on Green Bay, I would have lost my mind. What are you doing? What are you thinking?
What?
More on that in a second. LaFleur, we'll get into the LaFleur situation in a second. What was Matthew Stafford like?
Matthew Stafford was one of those guys that he didn't like to talk too much, but when he did, he commanded the room. He took over the room. I remember he came into the huddle, and as he was walking to the huddle, I would always stand next to him just because of how our huddles were aligned. And so as he was running back, he was looking me in my eyes, kind of like this, like looking me in my eyes. And he said, "Joik," he was like, "Get this mother in the end zone." That's what he said. He's like, "Get this," and he gets in the huddle, and we're playing the Bears, and we're down, and we're like at the 3-yard line, and this is my first year. This is my first full season with the Lions, and in my head, I'm thinking, I gotta score now. I gotta get in there. They putting their trust in me. I gotta get in there. They hand the ball off to me, and I felt like I was jumping. I felt like I was Michael Jordan. I dove over the pile. I stretched out. I dove from about the 4-yard line. I stretched out. And all of a sudden, somebody grabbed my legs. And I just kind of stopped in the air. But I held the ball out because I was trying to stretch to get it, like kind of Michael Jordan in Space Jam. I was trying to reach. I said, I can fly. I'm like, they believe in me. I got to get the ball in the end zone. And all of a sudden, Urlacher comes and wipes me out. I fumbled the ball on the goal line.
I remember that.
I said, I let him down. And Stafford was the guy that I never wanted to let down because I knew how much he endured being the Lions quarterback and everything he had to endure from everything off the field. And I just wanted to be part of that success, make him successful. And so I love Stafford. I love his toughness. Like I told you, toughest quarterback I ever played with. Sad to see him go. And we'll miss his presence here in Detroit. We didn't give him enough roses while he was here.
No, absolutely not. You don't know what you got till it's gone.
Yeah.
Was he vocal? Like, I know Bill Bentley's on here, and a couple guys asked Bill. I saw Steve said, "Bill, what was Stafford like to you as a defensive guy?" Did he stay in his lane, or did he talk to the whole team?
He would talk. So this is the thing. When Nate B was there, Nate B would do the talking in the middle.
Sure.
You know, and Stafford will always be there. And then when it's time to, like when Nate B left and it was time for Stafford to step up and talk to the team to do that speech before we came out, he always demanded the room. And we always listened. So, I mean, the toughness.
Son of a gun.
The toughness.
Jeez, oh, Pete.
The toughness in that guy. And it plays like this that people don't really – you have a guy that's about 320, 330 just laying all his weight on you with that vicious hit. Yeah.
I told you, we were at that game. I was there with my son and his friend, and it was I don't care if it was a battle of two of the worst teams in the National Football League at the time. This is why sports are so great. In that moment, you're watching this game, and you're watching that kid get up and make a play like this to win the game. I don't give a damn if it's your second win of the year. It meant nothing to me. It was awesome. It was awesome being there. It was awesome to see. At the time, you know, my son and his friends were like 8 years old, and they just beamed. It was just absolutely, it was awesome. Oh,
that move right there. I mean, he was in so much pain, and he still pushed through it. Like that's what legends do.
He came back. You know what he was doing? He wasn't saying I was in pain. You know what he was doing? Running back. You know what he was doing? Go back. He throws the ball in pain. Fast forward, right? Go back a little bit. Come back. He comes back. He throws a touchdown. He looks at the sideline. I got ice in my veins. I got ice in my veins.
Oh, is that what he was doing?
Ice in my veins. No, he was hurt, but I'm just saying.
I'm the most gullible person.
He's telling I got ice in my veins. Let's go get this. Let's go get this looked at now. Let's go get this shoulder, this collarbone looked at. But he was telling. He was letting the people know. I got ice in my veins. You know what that means?
Isn't that a weird feeling? Because I know that from hockey when your arm goes dead, when you get that stinger.
Yeah.
You can't. Have you ever had a stinger, Art?
No. Of course not.
There's no other way.
He doesn't do anything contact.
Your arm goes dead. You're like There's nothing there. It's.
I've hit my elbow on the counter before. Is it similar to that?
Yeah. So
Okay.
a lot similar. You know, Art reminds me of that guy on It where his mother didn't let him do anything because she thought he would break a bone.
I mean,
You remember that? The little kid on It. Don't go outside. Don't ride a bike. You know, all that. That's Art.
Jerry said we were at that game as well. Son's first game still gives me chills. I remember it was funny because I was working with my pal, the now past Tom Kowalski, and he was a big fan of moments like that because sometimes we all get wrapped up. I get wrapped up. Like we had a conversation about it on Friday, Joy. I get wrapped up in wanting to win, okay? But when you're in the stadium and you're at that game, it didn't matter to me that at the point in time there were I think there were 3 wins between the two teams. It didn't matter. You're watching this young quarterback get absolutely crushed, pick himself up off the turf, and throw a touchdown in the last play of the game. Man, if you can't get excited about that, you don't have a heartbeat in your chest.
Right.
And
it just
you
shows
don't.
his competitive nature, man.
Yeah. What are you watching for? All right, no, but you were saying when Nate was the guy that kind of talked to everybody. Did Matthew go and have those? Because everybody has their rooms, as you said. Everybody's got their room. But was Matthew a guy that kind of transcended all 53?
When needed, when called upon, he would. When called upon. Like I told you, Stafford was not a talk. He was just about that action. Yeah. He was about that action, boss.
Bill did respond. He said 9 was a great QB. Yeah. It's still going to be so weird because I don't know. When they drafted him, I kind of thought maybe this is a new era of Lions football. And it was when compared to the aughts. It was. It just, you know what? I have that same sinking feeling about this era, Joik, your era, Bill Bentley's era, Calvin Johnson's era, that I do about the 90s. And I mean no disrespect when I say this, but when I look back at the 90s, and I've talked to Herman more about this, how the hell did you guys not win more playoff games? And Herman and Lomas and all those guys, to a man, they go, oh, no. We had everything. I mean, that was a damn good team, okay? Yeah. You don't go 12-4 in the National Football League and go to the NFC Championship getting lucky. This is a damn good team with one of the greatest running backs of all, one of the greatest players of all time in Barry Sanders. And I got to be honest with you, that hit me yesterday. I was thinking to myself, all the talent you guys had, how didn't you win more? You had some good teams. I mean, that 14 team was a damn good team. Right. And again, I'm going to say the same. You don't go 11-5 in the National Football League and have that defense that you had. I hate that. I hate that feeling. I hate it. And I know you hate it more because you experienced it. You know what,
though? And I don't think we realized how blessed we were to have that type of defense when we were playing because to us, they were always just that good. I think that 14 season they were holding running backs to or teams to 60 yards rushing for the entire year on average. Yeah, I mean the numbers that they were putting up were historical for the franchise. Sure, right. And so I think we took that for granted, right? But honestly, that defense was the heart of our team. That year, 2014. I mean, we had a great defense. We had some great players. And you sit back, you think about it. I'm just reminiscing. Why didn't we get to that next level? I mean, we bust our butt. We worked hard. We understood what we had to do, and man, some tough games, man.
Tony said, I hate the fact that Stafford is leaving. However, if he's not traded by the 5th day of the league season starting in March, he is owed a $10 million bonus. What happens in that case? Tony, we talked about it earlier. I'm not making a trade just to make a trade. And I would tell that to Matthew Stafford point blank. And Matthew, thank you for everything you've done. We're going to do everything we can to accommodate you, to accommodate your wife. You've been nothing but class. Your wife has been nothing but class. But at the end of the day, we have to make a move that's in our best interest too. And I hope, Joik, your tweet said it all. I want a move that goes like this. That we could make it work, but together we're going to make it work like this. You're going to go there, and they're going to give us that. That's all you can hope for.
You know what? And I also think it's in our best interest to not seem as if we want to trade Stafford. To give other teams, a little bit more incentive to say, okay, they really don't want to let him go, so we might have to give a little bit more to get him. And that's the play that I would probably go about. We really don't want to give him up. He's, there's no one out better than him right now. We'd rather just go get a quarterback in the draft and see what happens there. We might let him go when this contract is up, but not right now. And see what happens.
Bentley brings up a good point. He said 14 wasn't a better defense than 13. And Joik, Bill, I don't know if you've ever caught this before. I felt sorry for you guys on the defensive side of the ball. And Joik, I know I told you this. If you took the 2016 offense, okay, that offense that you were a part of that went to the playoffs and lost to Seattle, if you take the offense from that team and you put it on the 2013 team or the 2014 team, that's a damn good team.
I would say
that's a damn good team.
I would say take the OC from 16 or the 2014 everything. That's what I would say.
Don't get me started. You know my feelings on that.
Yeah,
OC.
I know. I would say that, all right?
Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Joe.
I would say that.
I'm just
and Joe's not a bad,
No, he's not a bad dude. It just
no.
It didn't work here.
He's not a bad offensive coordinator. He just didn't work out here.
Didn't work here.
All right, and so I say we take the OC from 16 and put him with the 14 year, and I think we go farther.
I would love to have seen Jim Bob, especially with Calvin.
Because I think Jim Bob was there in 14. He just wasn't calling the shots.
Yeah, he wasn't. Yeah, that's exactly. I would have loved to see, especially with Calvin. Mm-hmm. And think about that. You weren't getting as much out of that offense with Calvin Johnson on the roster. Mm-hmm. It was 2016 was whenever somebody had to make a play, it seemed like you guys always made a play. Mm-hmm. Whether it be the goal in the game in the backflip in Minnesota, or how many times it just seemed like you guys made plays down the stretch, really both sides of the ball, because Darius was insane that year, and you just didn't have that offensive oomph in 13 and 14. You just didn't.
All right, we didn't.
Kenny said it's just business.
We did some games.
Yeah,
we did some games.
No, you're
not gonna sell it short now.
But you would agree with me. You would agree with me that it should have been more.
It should have been more.
Yeah.
It should have been more.
Oh well. What do you do?
What do you do here?
Which area do you want to start with? Do you want to start with Green Bay first, or do you want to start with
that was the first game?
Kansas City first.
That was the first game.
Okay, so late in the game. Do you have the video and everything, Art? I think we got some highlights that are going to be playing behind us.
Right.
Look at that ball.
And just
look at that ball.
And you know what though? And at what point in time Tom Brady is a mastermind when it comes to those short passes on third down, and for him to go for that long pass on third and four, it's not like him. It's not like him. So it was good to see, but he had a outstanding game, and the play is going to be coming up soon where he really broke their back right before half.
I know a guy, by the way, since they just keep showing him, I know a guy, by the way, that was praying that Mike Evans fell to the Lions in that draft, Joik, because this goes back to what we were talking about. You guys ended up taking Ebron. I was praying that Mike Evans fell to the Lions. You add Mike Evans to your squad, who knows how 2014 might have turned out. I'm serious. The guy is a flat-out stud.
Yeah. And I'll tell you this much right now, that the Tampa Bay defense played way better than what I thought.
Oh, no question. No doubt about that. I do want to get your take on the LaFleur situation at the end of the game, because if I'm a player, I'm beyond pissed at that. I don't give a damn what analytics say. I don't give a damn what your reasoning is. I think it's cowardly getting into what happened. We'll have the videos in just a few minutes. But I'm with you. I think the unheralded aspect of this game.
Are you talking about the fight at the end of the game?
No, I'm talking about deciding to kick a field goal. It's just so cowardly. It's so absolutely cowardly. I didn't get it. Go for it. Are you kidding me? You go for the touchdown. And
you tried to make it a 2-score game?
No, I'm talking about it's just over 2 minutes to go, and you decide to kick a field goal.
They were down by 17. right?
No. They were down by 8 at the end of the game.
Oh, okay.
They were down by 8 at the end of the game, and he kicked a field goal. It drives me out of my absolute mind.
Let's get to it.
Okay. Well, we're gonna show the. I'm gonna give you the exact situation. So people, there's no miscommunication. How's that? There's no miscommunication on this. So the score is 31-23 late in the game. You are fighting your way back. You score, Tampa scores a field goal to go up by 8 points. There's 4 minutes and 42 seconds to go. You drive the ball all the way to the 8-yard line with 2 minutes.
The clip's coming up right here.
And 5 seconds to go. So here's the field goal to make it 31-20. Look at the time on the clock. Okay?
Right.
You're getting the ball back. You have a chance to drive down the field, score a touchdown, and go for 2 points, okay? Somehow, some way, you get yourself in a position, as this drive is progressing, you get yourself in a position to score a touchdown, and then you obviously need a 2-point conversion, right? So, look, Joyke, here's the biggest thing. Here's the clock. There's 3 minutes left. Now there's 2.5 minutes left. This was the big play right here. When they converted, I was like, well, now you have to go for the jugular. You have to absolutely positively. So here's 3rd and goal from the 8-yard line. 3rd and goal from the 8-yard line. I'm still shocked he didn't run.
I'm so
by the way.
shocked. I yelled at the TV.
Now, Joyke.
I yelled at the TV when this play happened.
Pause. Art, pause.
I'm
okay.
not.
Now, this is where I'm going to go. 2:09 left. You're down by 8 points.
I'm going to tell you the logic in this. Look, the defense has started playing better ball in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
You have 4 timeouts here. You have 4 timeouts.
3.
No, you have 4 because you got 2-minute warning.
Oh, yeah.
So you have 4 timeouts here. Their mindset is our defense is playing better. Let's put it on our defensive shoulders. Now, when you have a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, would I rather put it on my defensive shoulders or would I rather put it on Aaron Rodgers' shoulders? At that time, during this game, I give it to the coach. His receivers wasn't giving him, because right now the score they had a 2-point conversion earlier in the game where the guy just dropped it, and they wasn't playing their best ball offensively. So defensively they were playing a little bit better. So like, let's put it on our defensive shoulders, and that's what they did, right? My decision, I'm going with Aaron Rodgers. It took the pressure off the offensive coordinator. At this point in time, Aaron Rodgers wants the ball in his hands. He wants it. But honestly, it should have been a touchdown before this play. He should have ran it.
Sure. All right, but hold on. The logic that you're giving, I'm not arguing with, okay? But you can still do all of that by going for it.
I
agree.
agree.
You can still do it because let's say you fail. You fail on 4th down, okay? You still need that score that we're talking about. So you can do all of that, keep your timeouts, and take your chance of getting the ball back. Go for the jugular. You have one of the best quarterbacks in the game. Go for the jugular. I thought it was cowardly. I'm not picking you anymore. I'm waiting for him to pick you.
It's also this, too, Sean. I want you to understand this. They kick this field goal, right? Say they go for it, they don't get it, right? Now they have the defense. They have to go out there. They have to go back down there, score again. Then they have to still go for a 2-point conversion. Versus saving time on the clock. This is going to take just as much time. You're going to get the points. You're more likely to get the points in the touchdown right now. Okay. Come back. Defense stops them. You go down and score. Now you win the game if you score, and you still have 4 timeouts left.
Well, you at the end of the day, to me, you need 8 points. You need the 3 isn't going to help you if you don't get the ball back. So I go for it. I go for it. And if I don't get it, I still need 8 points. I'm still in the same position. You need a touchdown. Period. A field goal won't help you. You need a touchdown. So I go for the touchdown there.
Either way it go, the game is going to be on your defensive shoulders. Even if you score and get the 2-point conversion, the game is still on your defensive shoulders.
No question.
So if it's going to be on your defensive shoulders anyway, let's just get the 3 points, put it on our defensive shoulders. They win. Cool. We get the ball back. We score. Now we win the game. We don't go into overtime. You don't want to go into overtime with a time against a Tom Brady.
What you're doing is now you're saying two things. Okay, if you don't score the touchdown and you don't get the 2-point conversion, you're saying, well, not only do we need to put it on our defense's shoulder, but we need a touchdown as well. You know what I mean? Give me the road less traveled. I'll take 31-31 and putting the pressure on my defense, even against Tom Brady. But that conversation isn't a conversation at 31-26. You know what I mean? And to me, this isn't even a hindsight is 2020, because sometimes we talk about that and somebody will harp, and it was like, no, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I remember baseball coaches. Jim Leland got killed for stuff like that. Why did you leave your closer in? Why did you leave Verlander in? That's a 6 of one. Damn if you do, damn if you don't.
You got to also understand, if you guys go for it, you know it's going to be a pass. If you take a sack, all right, you lose the time and you lose the timeout, because more than likely it's going to go into the 2-minute warning. And now you're down to 3 timeouts. And that's game over. With Tom Brady. With a Tom Brady.
You really think you're going to burn 9 seconds off the clock on a 4th down play? I don't.
Probably not. But
from the 8-yard line? I see.
With the way that Aaron Rodgers can prolong a play, it doesn't seem likely, but it's possible.
See, because Bill said the same thing. He said if you risk going for it, you risk the time in the timeout.
Right, you risk the time in the timeout.
I don't think from the 8-yard line that's going to be a 9-second play. I get what you're saying, but would you guys agree with me?
But
I don't think that's a 9-second play.
You're going to risk the time, or he's saying in the time, but I think you're going to risk either time or the timeout.
I don't think you have to take a timeout there. Do you? I mean, you could. It's 4th down. You're at the 8-yard line.
You're just wasting time. That's all. You're just wasting time.
Yeah, I mean, to me, you
give him Tom Brady a long field. You give him a long field if you don't get it. You give him a long field.
You have, again, all 4 of those timeouts. You get, and as somebody pointed out, the kick returner gave himself up. So Tampa gets the ball back with 2:02 left. So you get 1 timeout with the 2-minute warning,
right,
and you have all 3 timeouts left. That's where you say to your defense, we've done everything we can do. We've put you in the position to at least force extra time. You guys have to stop Tom Brady. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because in this circumstances, you're asking for 2 things. You're asking for the stop, and then you're asking for Green Bay to get the time or get the ball back and have to go score a touchdown. I just, again, for me, I thought it was cowardly. Go for it. What would you have done? By the way, Bill said, no, I'm with you, Baligian. Coward move. Go for it in the championship game. Best quarterback in the game. Thank you, Bill.
Yeah.
No, right. As a player.
I'm going for it.
Yeah, right?
I want to go for it with Aaron Rodgers. That's what I would do. But I can understand his logic on why he did it. But I wouldn't want to put the game on my defensive shoulders. He probably, listen, let's get 3 points, put the game on our defensive shoulders, and then get us the ball back, and then put it in Aaron Rodgers' hands again to go down and score. But I don't know if you get in the same position if Aaron Rodgers gets the ball back.
You know what? To Bill's point, I think Bill nailed it. If this is, no disrespect, Alex Smith. Okay? If this is Alex Smith, maybe. You're talking about arguably the best quarterback in the game. I want the ball in his hands.
I don't think that's an argument.
Well, some people might say Tom Brady.
Yeah, I mean, he beat him. So
guys like me will say Josh Allen is not only the greatest quarterback today, he's the greatest quarterback of all time. So,
and that's when this show will lose credibility. That's when this show will lose credibility.
You guys know that, right?
Hey, Joy, can I ask a question just about this play?
Yeah.
To me, it seems like before this, the bigger issue is the fact that Aaron could have ran for that first down
twice,
and he just didn't. I mean, if you look at this play,
take a look at this.
Yeah,
what the hell was he thinking?
Yeah, he had it. Nobody is there in the corner.
Right. So he throws that one, but then there's another play where he could have just kept running. There was no one coming after him, and he decided not to.
Seriously, it was twice. It really was. It was. There were 2 different times where I was like, Aaron, what are you doing? Especially a guy that has shown that he can still move.
He can still move.
You know, he had that great pump last week. Remember against the Rams?
Yeah,
he had
and then
that
took
pump.
it off the corner.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know why he didn't run it. When I saw that play during the game, I literally yelled at the TV, "What are you doing?"
Rodgers
I was at Stephen's house. I was at Stephen Tuller's house, beat him in pool, and saw that play and had to stop playing.
Rodgers also stated that it wasn't his decision to not go.
I mean, they was torching King.
Well, you remember.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, they were torching King the entire game.
Yeah.
That was their game plan. That was their game plan.
You know what's going to be interesting is now there's some muttering that maybe Aaron Rodgers is very unhappy. He said that they have to take an organizational look at things. Now, this also stems, if you remember, from last spring in the draft. Aaron Rodgers didn't like the fact that they used their first-round pick on a quarterback. He felt that there were more pressing needs. And to just fall short like they did, does that mean that Aaron Rodgers wants out of Green Bay? I don't know that. But there has been speculation for a long time, even before yesterday's game, that San Francisco and Green Bay might be a perfect marriage for Aaron Rodgers. That Aaron Rodgers, a guy that grew up not far from there, and he could go into San Francisco and play his last few years there. That Green Bay already has their guy in waiting. I think you're out your mind if you're Green Bay and you say, well, it might be time to move on from Aaron Rodgers. Hell to the no would be my answer. You wait a couple years for that. But
he just asked me a question, so I'm going to respond. 2023 is when his contract ends.
Yep. So that's the speculation. The story's out there. I'm sure you guys have read it, that Aaron is unhappy. He was very non-committal about things moving forward. Now, in fairness, and Joik, you and Bill Bentley know about this, after the game, the emotions are different than when you sleep on it or you have a couple days away and things like that. I mean, there's no doubt about it. There's a reason you guys have a cooling off period. Yeah. But some people say that this isn't just based on what happened yesterday. This has been months in the move. I don't know. I'm not close enough to the situation. But that's where all the speculation is going to come.
Yeah. He might be in the similar situation as that Washington, that another quarterback that's pretty good. You might have heard of him. His name is Deshaun Watson, out in Houston.
I love Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, so, if the Texans are going to let go of everybody and now let go of their star quarterback, I don't see how they bounce back anytime soon.
Here's the quote, and this is from the New York Post. A lot of guys' futures are uncertain, myself included. His contract has 3 years remaining on a 4-year, $134 million contract, and the Packers would be stuck with a dead money charge of $31.6 million if he is not on the roster next year. You want to talk about a hit.
Yeah.
But, a lot of frustration.
He's not going anywhere. They'll be crazy to let him go. It's not going to happen. You're unhappy, you're going to be unhappy right here. It's kind of like a marriage, right, Art?
I'm happy in my marriage.
That's not what
I think he meant the marriage in here.
Yeah.
Oh, between you and me? I'm just waiting to get paid still. So, I've got 17 million kids to provide for, but I'll wait another week for the $100. That's fine.
Yeah, that's cool.
Mr. Big NFL contract guy over here, I can't get $100.
That's cool.
Chad, can you loan me $100?
He's good for it. Hey,
Chad, is there any way we could ever get invited down to your place?
As long as I owe you, you'll never be broke. What's the saying? As long as I owe you, you'll never be broke.
Isn't that the thing that's most upsetting? He's doing Instagram videos, opening the blinds, and this awesome Florida man.
That was, Chad, like I said, Chad inspired me this weekend.
We're never going to get invited, and that's okay. That's all right. But listen, you're all invited to my house for a barbecue on February 20th.
And you guys can come to my trailer if you want sometime. It'll be great. We could stack 2 trailers together, maybe.
I don't have automatic blinds, but you're all invited to my house for a barbecue.
Yeah, for sure.
My house looks like the Home Alone house.
Though. You have a smoker.
I do have a smoker. My house looks like the Home Alone house. I think that's the best way to say it.
Must be nice.
All right. We'll come back and talk about the AFC Championship. Patrick Mahomes is sick. When we talk about great quarterbacks, are we being disrespectful to the young whippersnapper? Because I think it's high time that we have to start talking about Patrick Mahomes as, in that conversation, Joik.
The kid.
We have to start talking about it. He's just, that offense yesterday was sick. It was like Buffalo, like you knew very early in that game, if Josh Allen can't lead them down the field left and right, they're screwed.
Put the camera on Art real quick.
All right,
put the camera on Art.
Sorry, I just got a text from Joik that said sent the $100 through Apple Pay STFU. So thank you.
What does that mean?
Please silence your mouth.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't
that's what
that
it means.
nice?
So I will say, I'll put it on the camera.
Can you apologize to Joy?
He is a man of his word.
Okay.
He did pay. I just don't know how to get it off. Like, you could have just given me the cash. Thank you, Joy. You're a man of your word.
Walking, yeah.
All right, we'll take a quick break, talk about the AFC Championship. Don't go anywhere. Joy Bell, Sean Baligian.
Hey, send that back, though. I was just playing. I was just send that back.
What up? What up? Glad you could join us wherever you may be today. Thanks for checking us out, Baligian and Bell, here on the Woodward Sports Network. I hope you guys have been able to see how many different things are starting to sprout up, and we've got so much more. There's an MMA show. Obviously, I'm part of the barbecue show, part of the draft show. We've got a hockey show coming up, and, it's funny. Some of my boys are like, how are you not a part of that? I'm glad that other people are doing stuff, man.
Yeah.
We should have a pro show with Bill Bentley and Joy Bell where they're just they're showing everybody how they game. Wouldn't that be great? A bunch of pros, just a webcam with you guys gaming. Are you kidding me? I'd sit there just watching that all day.
I'm telling you, it's coming. Like, I'm on the 6th tonight. If you guys want to follow me, I'll put it on my Instagram, Juggernaut, JOIQUERNAUT. It's a mouthful, I know, but I'll have it on there today. Go follow me, get my Twitch account, and I'm going to stream some live tonight.
All right.
Yeah, and then we're getting ready for Darius Slay, Jamal Agnew. Bill, you want to hop on, let me know.
I love that.
Bill, hold up. I never asked. Bill, do you play Call of Duty or no? Tap in at the bottom.
Yeah, let us know. Tap in. That'll be interesting. No, you know what? It's that's the cool thing. A lot of fun stuff happening here, and we want to keep it fun. Hopefully, you guys have had some fun with us. I know we've had fun.
Here go Chad. Here go Chad. Nobody's beating Bill and Madden. Nobody's beating Dwight Bill and Billy and Madden. Chad, enjoy the show. You can hop on the 6th too. You can come play.
And Chad, you can come over my house in February too. Everybody's invited. Yeah. Everybody's invited.
You know what? Bill might smack me in Madden. I might have to put Bill against my nephew. I haven't played Madden in a while. I've been on Call of Duty for the longest. But I'll hop on there though.
No, so yeah, again, just a lot of fun, different shows coming up. So we'll check it out. Yeah. There he is. They looked unstoppable yesterday. I mean, there's just no other.
I mean,
you know what they did?
Coming off that injury, 29 for 38.
They flipped the switch.
Flipped it. 325 passing yards, 3 touches. You had Tariq Hill with 9 catches, 172. You had Kelsey with he tied the record for most catches in a game by a tight end. 13 catches. They played amazing.
I am a firm believer that 99% of teams and players can't flip the switch. I hate that term. I hate it. No, you're either on or you aren't, okay?
It was on.
And back in the day with the Pistons, as much as I loved them, I hated the flip of the switch thing. Oh, all we have to do is flip the switch. No, I don't think Kansas City has shown this year that they are a flip the switch team. Let me tell you something. Down the stretch, they did not look impressive. And that's part of the reason why I didn't pick them. But you know what? When the playoffs started, it was go time, season. And they turned into a different team, and you got to give them all the love.
New season.
Yeah. You want to watch the GOAT here? Take a look at the GOAT. Look at him.
Oh, no, he's on the sideline right now.
Look at him. Get in there. Get some.
That pick?
No, you can tell that was a push-off. That was a push-off.
You talking about that pick you just threw?
That was a push-off.
You talking about that pick?
Don't disrespect him like that.
There's no disrespect.
Now, you know why I like Josh. I don't know how he does it. He just does it.
They went up a quick 9, though. They did.
Yeah, they did. That was 9-0 that...
that was a drop.
That was the drop.
You got to think.
Look at my boy. Look at my boy. Wait, how do you stop that? How do you stop that, Joy Bell? You can't stop that.
You can't. He started off hot. Then that pressure started to come at him. It's hard.
Yeah, Kansas City.
Hey, look at that. Look at
my poor
look
guy.
At the kid.
There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah, you could have threw it out of bounds. You could have threw it out of bounds.
Good point.
He took a 3rd and 23.
You ready? Look at. Joy Bell, let me show you how it's done.
Yeah, and it's 4th down. I punt the ball.
What do you think about this? This is just like, normally this is a dagger against a team like the Kansas City Chiefs, though. Like,
Yeah.
huh? Normally that's a dagger.
Yeah.
Take a look at my man. You can't make a throw like that. That's a pro throw.
It was an out route behind the line of scrimmage. Relax.
Every throw that he makes, I'm making the greatest throw ever.
This is a go throw.
That's a throw.
That's a go throw.
That's a throw.
Watch them go to work. Let's turn it up, guys.
Oh, it was insane.
It's been fun. They had their time.
That's pretty much what it was, right? That's pretty much what it was.
They had their time. Let's show them. They had their time. This is just. What's that? Is this the? Let me see. Is this the route? No, that's not the route. It's coming up, but the route where Tyreek Hill caught the slant route and took it for about 50 was. I mean, it just. He's out there playing with kids.
Yep. That's what it is.
And he's out there playing with kids.
Well, doesn't this go back to what we always talk about with Joe Lombardi, right? You find people that fit your system. You don't try to make your system fit people. You find people that make your system, because I don't care what anybody says. Your system doesn't make a play. Tyreek Hill makes a play. Your system doesn't make a play. Travis Kelce makes a play. Right. Your system doesn't make a play. Patrick Mahomes makes a play. Andy Reid's tried and tested system found the right players to make plays.
Look at the guy. What was that called right there? Intentional grounding?
Well, I mean, he's getting beat up. Sometimes even the greatest, have to just get the ball away.
You know what, though, man? The way that they get so creative with their play calling, where, I mean, just look at this. And then you just can't, the speed down the field. Look at the old lineman. Look at the old lineman down the field. Like, you're not getting that. You're not getting that on everything. You have your old lineman running 50 yards down the field to get a block. Come on, man.
13 for 118 for Kelce, 9 for 172 for Tyreek. Jeez, oh, Pete. And as somebody brought up, they flipped the switch last year in the playoffs. You know what, though? They didn't go through that period, if you remember last year, where they were just, it looked like they were slowing down. This year, towards the end of the season, it looked like they were slowing down. And it's like, nope, that's not the case. It's incredible.
Yeah.
You just get the feeling that no lead is safe. Look at him.
Just look at that.
He is sickening. He really is sickening.
Come on, that's the kid. Just the shoulder movement and get it out. It's just some things just can't be taught, man.
If you tell me,
God-given.
Like, I get it. If you're one of those guys, who do you want a guy to win today? Maybe you say Tom Brady. Who do I want a guy to win next year? Maybe you say Aaron Rodgers. If you don't tell me that is by far the best young quarterback in the National Football League, I'm not talking to you.
What other quarterbacks came out this young in his career and been this successful consistently?
Incredible. It really is. It's absolutely incredible.
Came into a great system with great weapons around him and just making plays.
Unlike my boy Josh.
And I like Josh. I'm not taking anything away from Josh. Josh had a great season this year, but when you come against a team like this with a team with this high power offense and you're forced to throw the ball, I don't think this was his game.
No, I'm with you. It was, and you know what the biggest issue is? Again, Joik, it becomes mental, I'm sure, for all of you guys on both sides of the ball when you're watching the team on the other side of the field literally get into that rhythm where they can do no wrong.
Yeah, and this is another thing. When you have an opportunity to go down and score and you get in the red zone, you have to score against a team like Kansas City. You can't go down
field goals aren't good enough.
And kick 2 field goals in a row in the red zone and think you're going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. There's no way. Did you see this? Just look what he's doing to him. This is just. It's unfair.
Hill looked really good in that game too.
BYU made a system to fit Zach Wilson, and look what it did for him. It's Zach Wilson makes the plays, man. Seriously, it is. I will say this time and time again: the ego of coaches, and I'm not going to ask you to speak here, Joik, but the ego of your former offensive coordinator, you have to check yourself. Period. End of story. Joe Lombardi. You had pieces that fit your system in New Orleans. That's why you had success. If you don't have those pieces here, you use the talents of the pieces here and use them to your benefit. And that's I'm going to say it time and time again. Players make plays. Schemes don't make plays. Players make plays. Can they help a guy's skill set out? Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
But you know what? Like I'll give you an example. Patrick Mahomes. Why would you use Patrick Mahomes in the old school 3 and 5 step drops? Why would I do that?
Because that's what you know.
You're acting.
And that's why I asked you to, when you have people who come in, you have some people who are who they are and people who can reinvent themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have coaches who can reinvent themselves. You have some coaches who can't. This is who we are. This system works. I think that's prehistoric days.
Yeah.
That's prehistoric times.
And I like what Scott said. The Ravens have tailored their system to fit Jackson's skills. It works well for them. Absolutely. What does Lamar Jackson do well? Let him do that. Don't ask him to be something he's not.
Come to the NFL and as a center. Let us draft you as a center. You put you at guard and put the guard at center.
Don't get me started. I'm not gonna have a temper tantrum over that.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm not gonna do it.
I mean, so the people can know what we're talking about here. Just.
Do you know what bothers me? Can I tell you what bothers me in this town?
You know what really grinds my gears?
I love it.
Do you know what really grinds my gears?
Do
you know what bothers me in this town?
What's up?
And it's always bothered me in this town.
What bothers you?
So you have a situation where you draft this stud center. And this stud center who might be the best center in the game right now. And then what happens is you decide we're not going to play him at center. And not only is that head scratching in and of itself, as you just said, you sit there and go like this, but then you have people in this town, in the media, that for some reason, maybe they don't want to upset the general manager, maybe they don't want to upset players in the room. It's a bad thing to ask, why the hell did you do that? I'll never, Joy, for the life of me, I'll never understand. I'm not being a dick. I'm not being a bad guy. If I say...
You're not being a what?
A jerk. I'm not being a jerk if I say, hey, Bob, Frank Ragnow is a center. Why are you moving him?
Because everybody's walking on eggshells.
That's exactly what it is.
And that's the thing. When you get into a team or into a system or to a situation in this league, and you feel like people around you have to walk on eggshells, is that a system built for success?
No. And there are people that I know and people that I've worked with that, like, I remember I asked that question at the draft a couple years ago. I said, why did you feel it was best to oh, you can't ask that question. What do you mean I can't ask that question? What? Frank Ragnow is a center. What? You're creating two problems by moving Frank Ragnow over. Really, that is, as far as I'm concerned, you're asking a guy to be something that is he capable of doing it?
Yeah, probably.
Well,
so.
Yeah, sure he could. You could be a tight end in the National Football League, Joy.
No, I could be a fullback too.
Would you be well at it? No. I don't get it, and it's funny because and people that I respect, I don't mean any shots, so I'm not going to say any name, but people are like, well, no, we need to ask that questions. What is the rationale for drafting a center, talking about this guy being your center of the future, and then immediately moving him over? Well, we like his versatility, and we have another guy on the line that we think is versatile, so we're going to play him at center. Well, wait a second. So
we'll
now,
never know that logic.
Now you're playing two guys out of position on the line. Well, that doesn't sound real smart to me, and unfortunately, we've seen too much of that crap here.
They said, Sean took off the hat.
Yeah, when I take the hat off, he's right.
Sean took off the hat.
Just take off the hat.
Oh, he's mad. He mad.
Gets me. But why don't people talk about that here? Joik, I know, like you as players, I get it. It's a different position for you. You can't come out on game day and go, hey, man, I just want to take a second. I don't understand why Frank Ragnow got moved over. Why isn't he playing center? You guys can't say that. You guys see that stuff, though, right? I mean, you guys have got to be sitting in the room going, why the hell did they move Frank Ragnow from center? What? Like,
why? You know what's crazy? You know what's funny? Sean is upset.
He's mad.
He mad.
I'm mad.
Yeah, but you're right. I shouldn't have got you started. All right, let's move on. John Dorsey. let's move on. John Dorsey.
Yes. I love it.
You love it.
Love it. I'm saying to you again, I love what the Lions have done this offseason. I don't say that. I really don't. You can say I like what the Lions have done. No, again, I'm not writing any checks. This is going to be a tough build, guys, because you know what they're doing right now? They're accepting that they have to tear it down. That's what they're just the news of Matthew Stafford coming out over the weekend. If that doesn't tell you where they're at, they know, okay, this franchise has been mismanaged for so long and we've missed on so many draft picks. It's time to tear it down, to build it back up. And that doesn't mean that there aren't pieces here like Frank Ragnow, right?
Right.
Like Taylor Decker. There are hopes. There are hopes in Okudah. There are hopes in Oriarie. There are hopes like that on the defensive side of the ball, but that they're just that. They're hopes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I hope they become better than what we've seen so far. I think Decker and Ragnow are studs. I mean that. I think Kenny's a big question. You know, we touched on that. But now what you got is this goes back to what you were talking about earlier, okay? You have a bunch of guys that even players can get excited about. Like, you guys should have seen the look on his face when Corey with a K came in and talked about Deuce.
Yeah.
Ring, ear to ear. He was the flipping Joker. I mean, you were
Deuce.
smiling ear to ear.
I like Deuce.
And so now you got a little bit. You have, okay, Dan Campbell doesn't have much head coaching experience, right? He was an interim coach. You got Anthony Lynn. You have Deuce Staley, a guy who's been in the league as a player and as a coach for years and is well respected.
Yeah.
You're bringing in Aaron Glenn, a guy who's been there and done that, was a first-round pick, played in the National League for forever. So you have all these beautiful pieces now where this guy can help that guy. Okay, you have a general manager in Holmes that doesn't have GM experience himself. I loved him because he has drafting experience, because that is single-handedly the thing that has hurt this franchise the most. Their inability to get value out of the draft has absolutely killed this franchise forever. He's known as a draft evaluator, a college evaluator. But wait, Sean, he doesn't have any experience. Hi, can I introduce to you John Dorsey?
Yeah.
You're actually seeing for the first time in a long time the Lions.
No egos.
Yeah.
There's no egos. That's a big part about this game, right? You have these guys who come in and I'm the guy. Everything comes through me. Run everything through me. It's my, I got the last say so. And he does have the last say so.
Kennedy said, "Can Deuce bring Slay back with him?" Please.
Bring Deuce and bring Jordan Howard.
All right, bring Joik and Slay back. Could we get a trifecta? I'd be happy.
I'll think about it. I would definitely think about it. He's just
you're gonna be a coach one day, dude.
Huh?
I think you're gonna be a coach one day.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't think
dude,
so.
you have coach in you. You do.
I don't think so.
Well, can I tell you why? Just on the outside looking in.
Why is that?
I think you have the ability to get very serious and your crap like that. Okay. And I think that's a good coaching trait. I do.
Okay.
Have you talked to P-Dubs about? I bet P-Dubs would.
Yeah, he would definitely bring me on. He's already offered. He already offered.
All right.
We talked about it, but no.
No interest?
No.
I could see you being a coach one day, dude.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
You don't have any interest? I think you'd make a hell of a. Is it because you don't have any interest, or you question how good you'd be at it?
Neither one. Just time.
Okay. Live your life. I want you to be happy.
Time.
No, I get that.
Just time.
I totally get that.
We talked about this before. Just the time that the coaches put in, day out. How the moving around. You look at all the coaches that's coming in. Look at all the stops they've made until they got to this point. And even then, this might not be their last stop. It won't be their last stop.
Grammy Whammy thinks you'd be a good coach.
Thanks, Grammy Whammy.
No, Joik, you know what? I totally get what you're saying. You do what makes you happy. And here, I'm going to put it to you this way. There are one in particular. There is a job that I would have given anything for even 10 years ago. that if it was offered to me today,
You wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't do it.
Exactly.
And it was offered to me last year, and I said no, thank you.
All right.
And things change. Your life changes. Your priorities change. And you know what? Maybe 5 years from now, that might fit your life. You know, when your businesses are going, because I know Joik's a businessman and you're an entrepreneur as well. Let's be honest.
I'd say that.
When everything's going the way you want, maybe at that point in time, that's when you sit back and go, you know, I miss the game. I miss the game day. I miss the weekly preparation. I miss everything that goes into it. You know, but no, you do you, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't need me to tell you that.
That's a good time. We have another commercial coming up. So stay tuned. We got a lot more to talk about.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10 and a half months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
Hire a graduate of
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Hey, it's reality, by the way, online gaming, and you can't go anywhere without guys hearing about or telling you about how they did over the weekend. Hopefully, you went to MyBookie. You can take advantage of MyBookie's prop builder, live in-game betting. Every single run, throw, touchdown is another chance for you to put cash in your pocket. I know two different guys that correctly predicted who the first score of the game was going to be in both games. And hot damn, that takes care of your Sunday. Visit the mobile-friendly website today and get your deposit match halfway up to $1,000. Just use the promo code Woodward when you make your first deposit. The best part is they will take any type of way to deposit it. Credit card, bank transfer, Bitcoin. Whether you're at home or on the go, on your laptop or your phone, it's not too late to make your New Year's resolution a resolution to get paid. Bet, win, and get paid. MyBookie, remember to use promo code Woodward to get 50% off of your first deposit match. I got to ask you something. Do you, I know you haven't had the fortune of going to a Super Bowl and playing in a Super Bowl. How do you feel about the 2 weeks between the championship games and the Super Bowl? There are a lot of people out there, yours truly included.
I'm going to say as a player that's not playing in the game, I like it. Because it gives you time to get home, relax. Because usually Super Bowl week, a lot of players go to Super Bowl week. Now, we might not go to the game, but we're going to Super Bowl week. Tuesday, we might get there Tuesday night. And I usually leave right before the Super Bowl, right before the game, right, and get back here to Detroit. But it's I like it as a player, probably not as much because there's so many distractions. You have to do this as a team. You have to go here. You have to do media. You have a lot of things that's not part of the game that's distracting you and pulling you away from your duty, right?
I got you.
But at the same time, we understand that everything that we're going through, the other team is going through as well.
Sure.
So it's kind of like it's kind of built like the combine. I feel like the combine isn't made for you to be successful. Like just from a time standpoint, from all the interviews, the lack of sleep, the weigh-ins, and then it's just a lot. The testing, the meetings. It's just like it's a bunch of different things that's going on that's challenging you mentally, all right? And so I feel like for the 2 weeks prior from the AFC or NFC Championship game to the Super Bowl, you have a lot of things that's distracting you from the game that you have to, as a team, realize, why are we here? Because a lot of people can get caught up in the hype. We're in the Super Bowl. You have to be able to stay here until the job is done. And luckily for both teams, Tampa Bay haven't been there in a while, but they have a guy who can help guide them through this process.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs, they've been there before.
Yep.
So as a team, they know how to handle it. Tom Brady is really going to have that talk with the team on this is what to expect when you guys go here. All right. And he has that right to address the team.
Two things that you weren't here last Monday. Maz and I were talking about this. I will never go to another Super Bowl as a member of the media. It is a waste of time.
Media Row is a waste of time.
It's a waste of time.
Media Row is a waste of time. It's for like fan fanatics who can listen to chaos.
That's what it is.
It's so chaotic in there. I went one time. I never went back again.
No,
we have 1,000 news outlets there, and they're just, you can finish one, and one person wants to grab you. Oh, come over here real quick. You finish that one, then it's not organized. It's just get in a room and get some athletes to come on.
I've been to two. I've been to Jacksonville, and I was here, and after I was here, I was like, nope, I'll never go again. Now, as a member of the media, I'll never go to a Super Bowl again, but for one circumstance, and I think you know what that is. I would spare no expense to get tickets to go watch the Lions in the Super Bowl. That would be one of those things. If I had to plunk down $2,000 for a ticket, I'd do it. I'd
These are
spare
going to
no
be the most
expense.
expensive tickets probably in the history of Super Bowls. Two, because it's a limit on tickets.
I know how much they are. They're going for $32,000 right now just for club seats, $10,000 for nosebleeds.
Would I spend $10,000 to go watch the Lions in the Super Bowl? Yes, I would. Yes, I would.
Yes, I would.
I wouldn't even think
mind
twice
you,
about
I've
it.
never been to a Super Bowl. Never would go to one as a player. But I will go to that one.
I couldn't miss that. If my life depended on it.
Yeah, you're paying $2,000 to sit outside the stadium.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Be outside. Watch it.
Yeah. What'd you say? 10,000 for nosebleeds?
Yeah, 10,000 for nosebleeds. They were saying 32,000 for club seats. That's where they're starting at.
I'm telling you, right? I would do it. I would.
Yeah. I mean, and the reason that it's so high because you have the game is going to be in Tampa. It's going to be in Tampa, right?
That's the first time that's ever happened. Yeah.
Right. That the team that's playing in the Super Bowl. Is playing at their stadium.
There was a person who had a question. Maybe you could answer this. They said because Tampa is the home team, but they're the visitor. Did you see that question? Like, who gets the locker rooms? Do you guys know how that works? They had asked the question a couple times.
My guess is that they're going to do it like that. That it would be Tampa's the road team, and that's 1,000% guess. Now, this is one thing as an experience. You know what I will say. When I brought up 2,000, Steve said 2,000. You sitting outside. Don't be surprised how many tickets hit the open market a couple days before the Super Bowl.
Really quick though.
Don't be and what you see is the numbers because this is how they get you. Trust me. And when the World Series was here, it was the same way. It's going to go like this because of demand, right? Mm-hmm. And then what's going to happen after a few days is going to go like this, and people are going to be sitting there going, "I got to get rid of these tickets. I'm not going to this game." And people, trust me when I say this. That number right now, 10,000, isn't going to be the number a couple days before the game. It's
going to be higher. It's going to be higher.
In some cases, yes. In some cases.
It's going to be higher.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you this. This is going to be the most interesting part about this. Where would Kansas City Chiefs be practicing? Since they're the home team, they get to use their facility.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
If they're the home team, they actually get to use Tampa Bay Buccaneers facility.
Do you think this is going to be the most viewed Super? Because I do. It's the teacher versus the student. Sean, you and I were talking about it. I say it breaks records. I really do.
Yeah, it could.
It could. It really could.
Tom Brady is transcendent. He is. I mean, there's no other way to say that. Yeah, it could. But you got to remember, take a look at the most watched TV events in the history of television. It's all Super Bowls.
It's all Super Bowls.
It's crazy. It's all Super Bowls.
Yeah.
You know what's going to be interesting? You know Tampa. My brother lives down there, and he lives right next to the university down there. And he said, I wonder if Kansas City or the Bucs are going to be practicing out here because you're going to have to find there are some places that you can go down there. What USF is there, and he's near U Tampa and. So he was wondering, he said, hey, do you know what? I was like, how the hell would I know? But there are enough places down in the Tampa area. Now, what's interesting about here, right, is when the Super Bowl was here, Seattle was down at Ford Field, And Pittsburgh was out in Pontiac. And so what they did is they had turf put in just like they use at Ford Field, right?
Right.
And then when they were done with the game, they donated it to the city of Pontiac, to Wisner Stadium. So the turf that's at Wisner Stadium was bought and paid for by the Pittsburgh Steelers. True story.
Huh.
I know that from doing my high school broadcasts and everything. So
look at that small world.
Yeah, that's what a lot of times that's what happens with the teams. Is they come in and they want things exactly the way it's going to be game. Well, what the hell are they going to do with Ford Field turf after that?
Right.
So they gave it to Wisner Stadium in Pontiac.
That's dope.
Classy,
That's dope.
classy gesture. Classy gesture.
22,000 fans.
Woo! Not full capacity. You're right about that. 2008 getting me in. No way about that.
22,000 fans, and they're giving 7,500 of the tickets away to first responders.
That's classy.
Wow.
Good for them.
That's awesome.
So they really only have 14.
Good call, Steve.
No, so they really only have 14,000 tickets. So you drop that 22,000 down to 14,000.
Woo! This year?
That 10,000 is not going down. Sean.
I'm not missing when the lines go. I'm just telling you right now.
You know what I'm saying? So
I don't care if Art's pushing me in a wheelchair.
I've had people reaching out to me asking me if I can get tickets to the game.
I got you.
Right?
Can you imagine how if the Lions were there?
Super
my
Bowl
gosh,
week,
Joy.
Super Bowl week would be crazy. Super Bowl week. I mean, I wonder what Super Bowl week is going to be like this year. Because usually Super Bowl week is a week full of events, parties.
Oh my gosh.
From Nike having their room to Under Armour having their room. And basically what you do is, if you're signed with Nike, you can bring whoever was with you, your entourage with you to Nike. You get an invite, plus however many people that's with you. You'll talk to your rep. You go there, and they give you a bunch of free Nike stuff that hasn't even come out yet.
What?
Right.
You have
no idea.
You have no idea.
I'm
serious.
You have Nike, you have Adidas, you have Under Armour. They have these rooms, but they're not rooms. They're like big. Like I think when they had it in Miami a couple years ago, they was that last year or year before? They had the Nike room. They had rented out this mansion, so it was this big mansion. And you walk around, it was like a big event. They had food. They had items that they're about to drop the upcoming year. You get this bag of goodies when you get before you leave. I mean, it's like this big ordeal. You have Beats by Dre's that have something. Then you might have like the DirecTV
Gift
party,
bags.
GQ party.
It's incredible.
ESPN party, NFL party, NFL
I'm hanging with the
alumni
wrong
party.
people, bro.
Listen,
I mean, you have all these different events. Wow. I mean, I went to New York and they had Jay-Z and Beyonce performing at the DirecTV party.
What?
Here's the craziest thing though. How it works is like I had to, as a member of the media, like I had to MC an ESPN party that was at Comerica Park, and like Chris Berman and Tom Jackson were there. It was I saw things that I can't unsee once that happened. But you know what happens? You talked about hooking up with friends.
Yeah.
So you're meeting these guys and you're chilling and everything. And there was a guy from Saturday Night Live who has a history here. I'm not going to say his name, David Spade, who decided that he for whatever reason he liked me. So he's like, "You need to come to this party with me." And it was like,
you party with David Spade?
I'll come to this party with you. But Joik, you know how that stuff works down there. It's like, hey, Joik, you got to go to this party. And the next thing you know, you're at this party that you had no idea.
Bro, but
I don't know anybody here, but you find yourself there.
You party with Joe Dirt.
Yes.
Like, it doesn't get much better than that. Forget
he was
the
cool
gift
as
bag.
hell. I'm telling you what,
That's awesome.
he was, and it's funny because I had just talked to him on press
man.
row. I had just talked to him on press row, and he was like the coolest
You
guy.
guys left me at the Grand Canyon?
Well, you know what people don't know?
I was waiting for you guys.
That's a damn good Joe Dirt.
Joke edited him. That was
Way
great.
to go.
I was waiting for you guys. This out of here. Get this out.
No, but listen, Art, trust me, if the Super Bowl's ever back here,
Yeah.
and I know that the Lions would really love it. I know that's something that would mean a lot to them.
Yeah.
It was so cool how they transformed downtown. And, my biggest
It was
concern.
cool.
I
I have some mixed feelings about that.
Thank you.
I
I'm
had
glad
mixed
somebody
feelings.
said something about it. They did the strip down, and then they put the bridge up, which was awesome. But they literally they did the parts that were visible.
I'm gonna tell you this, man. This is how you know we have a problem here, and we don't. The show's about to end. I hate to end on this note, but they got multiple buses that they brought downtown, put all the homeless people on, and took them to a center out in the burbs somewhere.
No, I remember that.
Somewhere.
That disgusted
and we're
me.
giving them meals. If they can do that for the Super Bowl, why can't they do that year in?
No,
the
I
fact
hear you.
Year out.
But
They
here,
painted
do you know
the
what I was
main
worried
path.
about?
That's it.
Yeah,
They just painted and put up the windows.
The thing that you have to remember is this: whether they want to admit this or not, for the average person coming into town, this is vacation. This is not work. They like to pretend that they're working. Media today, okay? And so it's so funny when the Super Bowl is in a cold weather town, you hear all these people that are proud of their objectivity and are working members of the media crying about the cold or crying about this. To my point, I always say, I thought you're working. What does it matter if it's in Miami? What does it matter if it's in Minneapolis or Green Bay or Detroit?
It's work.
I thought you're working. And you know what Detroit did? Detroit embraced the weather. Detroit embraced, yep, we're Detroit. It's cold here. You know, so we have this winter wonderland over there, and if you want to go skating down there, and you know what, it was funny? I'm just talking from, like, the media loved it. I thought we were going to get killed. I thought we were going to get crucified for it. Media loved it.
Thanks, Grammy Whammy. I'm glad you enjoyed
Thanks,
the show
Grammy
today.
Rammy.
Thank
All right,
you.
we got to get out of here, okay?
Hi,
That's
Grammy.
live.
Went.
Kevin said rich people getting free bleep. Yeah, that's about it.
Anyway, I'm Joyke Bell, Sean Baligian. Thanks for tuning in to the Baligian and Bell show. Catch y'all tomorrow. Transformation Tuesday. Gang, gang.